Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to another Sporting160EN podcast. This is podcast number 44, and I'm joined by a lovely guest, lovely panel as always. Let me start it off with my boy Chris. Chris, how you doing, dude? Podcast number
I'm doing good, man. Campeões de Europa in
4.
futsal. A nice win for the seniors. Yeah, so it was actually about as good as the weekend as you're gonna get.
For sure, for sure. We're also making two debuts today. The first debut, not in terms of the podcast, but in terms of being part of the Sporting 160 squad, or Sporting 160EN squad, I should say. We got my boy Kevin, all the way from the UK, helping us out on Instagram. Kevin, bro, how you doing, dude?
Oh, couldn't be better. Winning futsal, winning football. Everything's looking up now. Brilliant.
Yep. Well said, Kevin. And of course, joined by our special guest. You may know him on Twitter as Johnny Cinero. I believe I'm saying that correctly. Johnny, how you doing, bro?
How we doing? I'm all right, thanks. I'm still buzzing off the win in futsal.
Yeah.
Champions League. It's been a good weekend.
Yeah, exactly, bro. And so to start off, before we get right into the game, Johnny, just take us through your Sportingismo, if you will. Who's your favorite player, your favorite moments at Sporting, all of that good stuff, dude.
All right, well, I got a good story here. Growing up, I was very undecided on which club to actually support, and I actually made a final decision back in 2010 on who I was going to support for the rest of my life, and that was Sporting.
Nice.
I went ahead and visited all three stadiums. Sporting was the last stadium that I visited, and this was back in 2012, and became socio and just been supporting them ever since.
Sick, dude. Fair enough. Sick. So that's actually really good because a lot of people, myself included, we sort of don't like choose our alliance. We're just sort of born into it, and then we fall in love if we fall in love. Whereas you just picked and you fell in love, and fair play, dude. Fair play. Yeah. So who would you say is your favorite player of all time to play for Sporting?
Well, since I'm still, just a fairly new supporter,
For sure.
about 8 years, 9 years, my favorite was actually Yannick Jalot.
I loved him.
I loved him, but only because he was great on the field and everything.
Yeah.
But I really liked him because actually we share the same birthday.
Sick.
Which is actually coming up May 5th.
Oh, sick.
Yeah. So it was Jalot, Veloso, and then, to be honest, Bruma. He short-lived with us, but I always thought he was a top talent.
No, definitely. A shame we let him go.
Sure.
Yeah, and your favorite Sporting memory?
To be honest, I gotta say the Taça de Portugal victory, coming back 2-0.
Yeah.
And also that Manchester City game.
Huge win. Fair.
Yeah.
All right. Well done, bro. You've proved your Sportingismo. Not that it was ever in doubt, anyways. And anyways, yeah, let's go into this weekend's actions. Starting off with Sporting beating Vitória de Guimarães at home, or Vitória Sport Club. Our starting 11 was as follows. We had Renan Ribeiro in net, Marcos Acunha, Mathieu, Coates, and Ristovski in defense, Wendell, Doumbia, and Bruno Fernandes in midfield, Diaby, Luis Felipe, and Rafinha up top, with substitutions of Christian Borja, Miguel Luis, or Christian Borja for Diaby, Luis for Wendell, and Jovan Cabral right towards the end for Luis Felipe. Johnny, I'll start it off with you. What did you think of our game against Guimarães?
It was excellent game. I thought we totally dominated on the pitch. The Rafinha goal was a straight banger. From that angle, it's not easy to bury that.
Yeah.
But overall, I thought we just dominated the game. Luis Felipe with another, great performance. I really liked how he played. Doumbia is coming along greatly. He's really showing out, in place of Goudelli as well. So overall, dominated.
Yeah, agreed. And Kevin, I'll go with you next. What did you think of our game against Guimarães, dude?
I think it's a very good game, very professional performance from the guys. The defense has looked a lot better recently, and you can tell from that last game, Vitória never looked like they were going to put a goal past Sporting. You can tell the structure was a lot better from the defense. Kaiser has improved the side. We've become a lot more compact, a lot more organized in our defense, and it shows. And another thing with Doumbia coming in, the difference that man makes in our midfield just cleans up the hole that Goudelli would leave in the midfield, the gap between Vendel and Bruno Fernandes and the two centre-backs, it's gone. Doumbia cleans up in that area, and you can tell because we, apart from the first 15 minutes where we're filling ourselves into the game, Vitória never got to our box, really, and we just dominated the game from there. It's a very good performance overall. Rafinha creating a lot. The combination plays with Bruno Fernandes, who, as always, played amazingly. It was just a very good performance from everyone. I'd just say Diaby had a bit of a poor game. Never really looked to get into it. He had the least amount of touches on the field. 68% pass completion, the lowest out of everyone who started. So I'd say he was the wrong player for the game. Not that he's ever really the right player, but that's
Exactly.
It's a different issue. Diaby never got really into the game, but then Acuna just covers for it. You saw Diaby wasn't really in the game, but Acuna, just the amount of crosses that he put in and the times that you'd see him on that side is just amazing. And that's where you can really see Doumbia come into his own, just slot into the space. Mathieu get pushed onto the side, and you could see his distribution from there, which is something Mathieu is very good at, and something we'll struggle to get with another defender. You struggle to see two centre backs that will pass the ball and create plays like Mathieu and Kovac do.
Yeah, agreed.
Most definitely.
Yeah. And last but not least, Chris, let me know what you thought of Saturday's game.
Yeah, I was actually a bit interested to see the way Guimarães came out because they kind of pushed us back. They dominated possession the first 15 minutes or so. But at the same time, they didn't really create too many chances, as Kevin said, but it just seemed it was a fearless entrance into the game by them. They're in a rough string of results, and to come to Alvalade, our fortress, where we haven't really dropped many points this season, and play like that. But it was pretty short-lived for them. We pretty much dominated the game. Otherwise, Rafinha, Bruno Fernandes were fantastic. Bruno Fernandes per usual, but Rafinha, man of the match performance by him. So I'm always happy to see that against his former team. Maybe a bit of extra motivation there. But yeah, I mean, otherwise, a lot of it was touched upon. I thought Doumbia played well. Acuna was also excellent. Diaby's finishing is constantly going to be scrutinized by me and probably everyone because it's super poor. I was very, very happy to see Kaiser, pull him out, not in like the 86th minute. He pulled him out in like the 65th, which I thought was a step in the right direction for him, using subs before like the 78th minute. So I was happy to see that. I was happy to see Borja return. And yeah, overall, I'm really, really content with the result. Really content to see Luis Felipe score in 5 straight games. Yeah, we keep chugging along here.
Yeah, exactly. All right. So like Kevin mentioned, like most of us mentioned, it was a slow start and then we dominated. Starting from maybe the 15th, 20th minute. And then in the 38th minute, Rafinha got his goal. A few talking points here. I'm gonna ask all of you, but Johnny, I'll start it off with you. There was a foul before the play on Guimarães from Acuna. I forget the Guimarães player now. One, do you think that our goal should have stood, or should it have been brought back by the VAR? And second question, do you think that foul was inside or outside the box for Guimarães? What do you think, dude?
All right, yeah. So I believe that player that Acuna was on was actually Rochinha.
Probably, yeah. Yeah.
Most likely.
That's correct.
Yeah, so that particular play I thought was definitely, if you were to call that, definitely would have been a soft foul to me. And it was definitely happened outside of the box as well for me.
All right, yeah. And Kevin, what about you?
I think the referee, for once, did very well on this occasion. The foul, if there was one, was outside of the box, and you can see the referee play the advantage because Vitória win the ball back, but then Sporting win it back also, so that cancels the advantage. We play on, referee plays on, and we counter-attacked brilliantly. Bruno Fernandes plays the pass forward, Rafinha finishes, end of story.
Yeah, fair enough. And Chris, last but not least, what do you think, dude? Chris, you there?
So, basically, Guimarães' main.
Yeah, you're good
Wait,
now. You're good now.
Can you guys hear me? Okay. Shit. All right. Yeah. So, basically, the main gripe that Guimarães could have here is that they think that it should have been.
Damn, you left us on a cliffhanger.
Reviewed.
Never mind.
No, we didn't.
Yeah.
He's got your internet, Danny.
Yeah, no, I think he's driving. That's why. It happens.
Yeah, no, I am
happens.
driving. Yeah. Okay.
Anyways,
yeah,
go for it. Fuck it. Yeah.
Yeah. So the main thing that they could have wanted is the referee to go back and review it as a potential PK. If he did do that, he would have determined that the foul was outside the box. By the way, I do think it is a foul. Acuna just kind of slams into the back of him. It's a foul. So if he did potentially review that as a penalty situation, he would have determined that it wasn't penalty kick and it would have been a free kick for Guimarães. Yeah, but since they lost possession, he theoretically can't do that, and then Sporting goes on to score. My one thing would have been, though, had it have been in the box, would the referee have been able to, since all goals scored are able to be reviewed, would he have been able to review the penalty situation before? And had it have been a penalty kick, given the penalty kick and disallowed the Sporting goal? But since it was outside the box, he can't bring it back and give them a free kick. So the Sporting goal stood. So basically, best case scenario for Guimarães is that he goes back and looks at it, determines it's not a PK, and Guimarães gets a free kick, and Sporting's goal doesn't count because it's for either way for them. It's not a penalty kick. Right. And if he reviewed that, he would have determined that. So I mean, I think it's the right call, especially since they lost possession. Yeah. So basically, the lesson we've learned here is if you think that it's a penalty, if you think you have a legitimate
Damn.
Yep. Okay.
I wanted to learn that lesson. Damn. We'll see. We'll wait until he gets back.
And Sporting wouldn't have countered, and the ref would have had a chance to look at it if they think they had a legitimate.
Sorry, Chris. Repeat from the lesson to be learned here, because then you just cut off.
Oh, yeah. So I guess the lesson to be learned is that if you think you have a legitimate PK shout, kick the ball out of bounds, stop the play because. If they didn't lose the ball and get counterattacked, the ref would have had a chance to go back and look at it. So, because if the possession changes hands, he can't go back and look at it again. So, I mean, Guimarães had the ball. They played like 4 passes, and then they lost it, and Sporting countered. So, I mean, if that guy would have just kicked the ball out of bounds, yeah, maybe it's a deep throw-in for Sporting at the end of the day. But if you think you have your PK shout, then it's worth looking at it, you know?
That's a really good point. I didn't even think of that. Yeah, well said, dude. All right, and then we hit the post like a million times. I feel in that first half. I think it was something like 3 posts in the first half. Second half started, 50th minute. Rafinha, doing what he was doing, running rampant. In first half, I know Rafa Soares subbed off. He was causing so many problems. Rafa Soares came off with an injury, and then what's his name, Florentin or whatever his name is, came in, and Rafinha didn't stop and kept on fucking around with him. So much that he in the 50th minute he dangles the guy, puts the ball into the box. Luis Felipe's there for the tap in. Johnny, do you think this was Rafinha's best game in a Sporting shirt, or do you think you've seen better from Rafinha this season?
No, this is one of his best performances in a Sporting shirt by far. I feel like he was just on straight beast mode this game. Plus, I think he had to prove a point because it was against his old club as well.
True. So,
yeah, the guy's a machina.
Yeah, man, for sure. Kevin, nothing really much else to talk about in this game. But my question, was Guimarães poor, or were we just really good? What do you think?
I'd say Sporting's midfield overran theirs. They have the player, Wakaso, who does the role that Dumbia normally plays, but then when Bruno Fernandes dropped back a little bit more and Vendel pushed into Bruno Fernandes' position, they kind of played side by side instead of 1 a 10, 1 an 8. He got completely out of the game, and Guimarães' midfield just wasn't there. And that's when Sporting started dominating and when we got the goal. So I'd say from there, our midfield just overran theirs. And it's probably thanks to Dumbia, because with Godel, he doesn't do the 6 role properly. Dumbia does, and he allowed Vendel and Bruno Fernandes to do their thing.
Yeah, good point. Chris, that's 9 straight wins. I know you brought up the Kaiser ball to me a few weeks ago, but I'm gonna fucking re-ask it again to see if anything's changed. 9 straight wins. Our last time we didn't win was in February 25th against Marítimo, where we tied 0-0. The last time we lost was February 14th to Villarreal. Is Kaiser ball back, dude? Or do we finally have Kaiser ball?
I think that this is probably the closest that we've come. He's tied Jorge Jesus's best streak of wins, and he had 2 full seasons?
2 or 3. Sorry, 3.
No, 2. Yeah, 3 full seasons to do that, and we were almost champions one of those seasons, and Kaiser has just tied that. So yeah, I mean, it kind of flies under the radar. I read that the most wins in the century for them is only a couple more wins away. So I mean, if we win out in the league and win the cup, we'll beat the record for wins in a row this century, which is pretty remarkable. So yeah, I mean, the team's playing. While he did have some of those blowout wins at the beginning, and I mean, some of that was aided by playing a couple terrible lower league teams in the early rounds of the cup. So we're not blowing teams out, but we're playing them off the pitch. And I mean, today easily could have been 5-0 if some of those post shots went in and Diaby knew how to shoot. So I mean.
Diaby learned how to play football.
I mean, I definitely think that this is the best time we played all season.
Yeah, dude, for sure. We actually have Rui Chaves in the chat. He's saying JJ's streak is actually 10 wins. So Kaiser may be 1 game off. I'll see if I can look that up in a sec. But he's saying the longest winning streak is Marino Perez with 11 wins and 91. So it's even crazy to think that Kaiser's even that close to it, like 2 wins away or 3 wins away, and he surpasses that. Anyways, Johnny, not to have like any sort of propaganda here, I want to gauge your opinion. What do you think of Kaiser? Do you think he's the man to finish Sporting's titleist drought? Do you want to see him in next season? What do you think of Kaiser, dude?
Yeah, no question, man. I think he's the right man for the job. I think he has a certain, mystique about him and his character. I just think it's to be honest, a match made in heaven for this club.
Yeah, he's a nice guy. He's a gentleman. I think that's my favorite part about Kaiser. He's a gentleman.
For sure.
Kevin, I know you might have different sentiments because I do know. I mean, he pisses us all off, to be fair. But what do you think of Kaiser, dude? What's your opinion on him?
When he came in, never thought he'd be the right person for the job. But we've seen recently, Kaiser Ball it's not back, but it's evolved. Because when it started, it'd be full-out attack, no structure in the defence. Now we've got a different style of play. We've got a defence that knows what they're doing, a style of play, a certain way of defending.
We got an identity.
You can see that. You can see that in the defence now. So I'd say he's evolved to the Portuguese game, which is what we needed. Acunha's reckless start of the season, it's changed now. He's not as aggressive in his play. So I'd say he's evolving to the league and he's changing. He's seeing the problems and slowly, yes, but he's changing it. So I'd say possibly he could be the right man, and he's understated. And that's something that Sporting probably needs, so we're not making headlines every other game.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, agreed, dude. Yeah, and personally, I like Kaiser. I mean, I'm with you guys. I think he should stay on. I think we've seen him change, like you guys were saying. He went from all-out attacking, winning games, like Zell was saying actually in the chat now. He went from, winning games 4-3 to now having, 1-2-0 wins, finally keeping a clean sheet, which is, something I thought was going to be possible for us this season, whether that's Peseiro or Kaiser. So yeah, I mean, I definitely want to see him on. Chris, I'm gonna actually steal a question here from Zan in the chat, mainly because I don't have anything else to say about this game. How much do you think Renan has improved from the fall until now?
I definitely think that he's improved. I also think that he's kind of, I think a lot of his problems have been alleviated by having Mathieu or Ilori or some ragtag backline that includes Bruno Gaspard or Jefferson, which is something that was pretty frequent at the beginning of the season. So we've had a healthy back line, and even when our left back, who's actually good now, Borja, has been out, we have Acuna he can slot in. So the back line actually has been very good during this win streak. So past like 2 months. That I really like, and I think he's super dynamic going forward. But I just don't think he hasn't showcased himself enough as I've seen him play like in a Sporting shirt already in the past. And so I mean, if Ristovski a bit under his potential is the worst player on the back line, it greatly helps. And I just think that the back line was completely disorganized for a lot of the season. Injuries and just poor choices. I mean, you didn't really have an option at left back before because you didn't want to play Acuna there all the time, and Jefferson. But we haven't seen Jefferson in months. I mean, I forgot he existed until now.
Don't remind Kaiser.
No, he played. He got subbed in the other day, didn't he? Like 2 weeks ago or something. I can't remember.
Yeah,
anyways.
he did. He
That's a
played
national
like
game, no?
He played like 10 minutes.
Yeah. Just, para matar a saudade,
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, he's not starting, and he was a regular.
Thank God,
starter.
Yeah, that's true.
Can't wait till he's gone.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, just get him off the books
What was
already.
the point of putting him in that game? It's like this last one, putting Jovan in on
So,
the
yeah, I mean-
88th. It's like, don't.
Honestly, I think it's because
Yeah.
Geraldo wasn't there to be played in the 89th, so you have to play somebody,
Yeah,
if there's anything I think we can definitely criticize Kaiser on is it's his choices and substitutions. I don't understand how. Again, I know we keep harping on the same thing. I don't understand how he goes from ballsy substitutions in a Europa League game, playing 3 youth players and even starting youth players, to fucking Jovan in the 89th, Geraldo in the 89th. Miguel Luis, if he doesn't play the 85th, if he doesn't get subbed in the 85th minute, I think Kaiser's afraid he'll lose his job or something. Like, I don't understand some of these substitutions. Like, why can't some of these guys play, 10, 20, 15 minutes, at minimum? I think that's my biggest issue with Kaiser. But
There's another question. Is it illegal to put Diaby on the bench? Is it?
buddy, you can ask the same thing with Goudelli, right? I think, Doumbia is only playing because he was suspended.
Or Sousa Sintra, and the deals that he did with these players and their agents, they have to have obligations to play, because if there's no way that someone can see Diaby play how he does and still want to start him when we have Jovan on the bench, there's no way.
Yeah, dude. Listen, man. These are not questions I can answer. Yeah.
7
Yeah,
million.
man.
Brilliant.
Yeah. Anyways, Johnny, who's your man of the match in this game?
Is it even a question?
I mean,
gotta be Rafinha.
Yeah, for sure. I'm gonna agree with you there. Cav, what about you, dude?
Definitely Rafinha. I think Vendel needs a special mention too, because he was very good in this game.
Yeah.
For sure. Yep, absolutely.
Agreed. And Chris, how about you? Man of the match.
Yeah, I mean, it's the first time I've actually seen this, like, in a while, or point ratings. They had Rafinha at 8.7, Rafinha at 8.8, Acuna at 8.7, Bruno Fernandes at 8.3. I mean, that's pretty impressive to have 3 players above 8. Rafinha is the man of the match with almost a 9, but I mean, Bruno Fernandes also was spectacular. He had 8 passes, 8 goal-creating chance passes. He played that through ball into Rafinha on the first goal. I mean, he was spraying it all over the field. Another fantastic performance for him. But for me, it's probably Rafinha.
I agree. He was definitely inspired against his old team. All right, that's really all we have to ask about talk about the Guimarães game.
Yeah, how many times we hit the post too?
That's a good point. Yeah, dude, I'm looking here on WhoScored. .com. It's saying Luis Felipe hit the post twice, or hit the bar twice, and Rafinha also hit the bar. And in the first half too, it was fucking crazy rocket of a shot, man.
Bruno Fernandes too, if I'm not mistaken.
True. It doesn't say it here, but fair.
Luis Felipe
There
is
was
in
4
good company.
4 or 5.
Yeah, that's 5 consecutive games. What do you think of Luis Felipe, actually, Johnny? Do you think he's the man to take us forward? Do you think he's our new Bas Dost, or do you still think we need another striker to help him out?
Yeah, I don't think he's the new Bas Dost as of yet, but he is, he is getting up there. He's definitely looking like a young Bas Dost when he first came in. But yeah, I really like his game. I think he is the future of this team, but it would be nice to find him, a partner up top. I like his game. He really tries really hard. He's going for bicycle kicks. He's like adjusting his body the right way to get the header off and manages to hit the post. I think he's special talent.
Yeah, agreed. And I mean, I think he was destined to be a crack after his parents spelled his name that way, pretty fucked up way to spell Philippe in my eyes, but whatever.
Little bit, but whatever works.
Dyslexic.
As long as he's burying the goals.
Yeah, that's a good point.
It's
Yeah,
not the name in the back, but the name in the front of the jersey.
exactly. Well said, bro. Well said. All right, moving on a bit. Today we had the news of Sporting B coming back. Something that I never wanted to leave personally. But Kev, I'll start with you. What are your thoughts on a Sporting B potentially coming back, and potentially, let me just add this, potentially back into the second division, even though they were relegated from it last year. What are your thoughts on that, dude?
It's a very strange one. I mean, if we got relegated in the last season in the second division, should we not start in third like we were supposed to? And what I thought the under-23s were doing fine, and it's easier to watch the games for us in the foreign countries. But besides that, the league was competitive, the football was a good standard, and it just limited. Once you get to 23 and you're not looking to go to the first team, it's like a sign. So okay, you need to go. I mean, we had Federico Ruiz, that's like 29, that's playing in the B team. He's not there now. It's just, it seems like a better system to introduce players into the first team. So it's like, okay, even if we want to bring the B team back, can we just leave it at that and not change every year? I mean, just leave it, or okay, let's bring the B team back and get it over and done with. But should we really be in the second division after the last season?
Yeah, personally, yeah, I agree with you there. I don't like us being back in the second division. But I mean, that's just me. Chris, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I don't think we deserve to be back in the second division. We should be in the Campeonato Portugal, but I mean, I don't even understand how they would negotiate that, because the second division has cut down the teams. They finally have the round number that they want, I guess, with 22, I believe it is. There was 24. They relegated more to get to this number. What are they going to do? Just add another team that doesn't deserve it and have an odd number, and then relegate 5 teams? I just don't see how that would make sense, and it doesn't really seem like we earned that either. Yeah, but I mean, at the same time, I do think we can keep the under 23 team and the B team. Benfica does it. There are teams in the U23 that their main team is in the second division, like Estoril and Leixões and teams like that. That's their first team, and they're in the second division. So I mean, I don't think it's unrealistic to have a B team in the third division, and then under 23 team. Second division, it's obvious that an under 21, under 23 team is a stepping stone onto that B team. That's a fully professional division in Portuguese football. But the third division is semi-pro. So at that point, it's what's better football for a young player's development? Is it to play third division with semi-pro players, or under 23 with all young players? I mean, at that point, I think it's kind of a toss-up.
Yeah, exactly, dude.
So difficult to get promoted.
Sorry, you cut off for a bit. What was that?
I mean, it's notoriously difficult to get promoted from the third division.
Yeah.
Into the second division. There's all these different regions, and then the top 2 from each region play in a playoff, basically. And in the end, only 3 teams end up going. So, I mean, it's difficult to get promoted. That's why you see these teams that get relegated from the second division, like Olhanense, Trofense, these famous clubs. It's even Beira Mar. It's tough to get back just because of the spots,
Yeah. But just a quick mention, since you mentioned them, Beira Mar just got promoted from the Aveiro district. So shout out to my Aveiro team. So did Belenenses. That's also a good point. So did Belenenses. Your Famalicão came up, right? You're from Famalicão, you said, right?
My grandfather is, yeah. So they haven't been in the first division in 25 years. So yeah, he's very excited.
I mean, you got to pay your grandfather a visit maybe next year when Sporting comes into town. I don't know, dude. Just a thought, man. And
Actually, it's going to be good.
Sorry,
for the
what was
first
that?
division because
Oh.
they sell out their stadium. They fill up that stadium, so it'll be a good atmosphere on a game-to-game basis. Where a lot of these stadiums are
Empty.
they're empty.
Yeah,
It's
no, that's true.
embarrassing,
That is true. They had the largest attendance. No, I know this isn't Sporting. Sorry. But...
Yeah, no, they get like 8,000 to 10,000 every single game, and that was in the second division. I mean, it'll be full every game in the Primeira Liga.
That's dope. That is
That's
dope.
all we need.
Yeah, for sure. And Johnny, before we move on to a transfer rumor, what's your quick thoughts on Sporting B potentially coming back? Do you like the idea? Do you not like it? What's up, dude?
Yeah, it's always good to have the B team. Third division, I would prefer them, getting into some fierce competition in the third division out the gate, instead of, wasting away young talent, under 23s, really show them what they're capable of in the third division would be, what I would go with.
Yeah, exactly. They're playing with, players older than them, players with more
Exactly.
more experience and stuff. Yeah, so yeah, I agree with you there, dude. And also, Johnny. So talks of damn, I actually messed up. I was supposed to Google his stats real quick. Give me 1 sec, and I'll tell you in a sec. But Vieto from Atletico Madrid, currently on loan at Fulham, rumored to be coming to Sporting. I've been hearing a 4-year deal with an option on a 5th or a 5-year deal. I'm not quite sure on the details as of yet. Of course, it is still just a rumor. Everything's been confirmed. He's 25 years old, Argentinian. Can play on the right, has played on the left, but mainly as striker. On Who Scored, it's saying his strengths are long shots, passing, through ball, and defensive contributions. He likes to play it short. He likes to do layoffs, shoot from distance, likes to tackle. Damn it. Stupid internet's a little slow. I'll take you through the goals in a sec.
I think he has 1 goal this season.
I believe so too.
He's only got
something
one.
like 19 appearances, 1 goal.
In like 25 games or some shit like that, right? To be fair, Fulham is also a really shit team this year.
He's played mostly on the right wing.
Yeah.
From what I've seen of them.
I believe he's only had 20 appearances this season for Fulham and 1 goal.
And mostly from the bench.
Yeah.
Right.
Mostly from the bench. Yeah, correct. 1 goal, 4 assists. His previous stints. Oh fuck, man! Sorry, dudes. I'm having a stinker right now. I'm trying to do it, but you guys were on point. Hey, Kev, we'll get to you in a second. All right. I don't want to hear some lip right from you right now, buddy. All right, here you are. So, 1 goal, 4 assists this season. He had 5 goals and 1 assist last season with Valencia. His time at Sevilla, he has 10 goals and 6 assists in 31 games. Atletico Madrid, he only has 3 goals and 5 assists in 38 games. And then his 2 best seasons came from first when he was in Argentina in Racing, who actually just won the league in Argentina. With 18 goals, 5 assists. And then when he was moved to Villarreal, he had 20 goals and 8 assists in 48 appearances. So long story short, Johnny, he's had good seasons, but for the past 4 or 5 seasons, he's been poor. What are your thoughts on this potential new signing for Sporting, though?
I think there's a lot of upside to this kid. Premier League is a rough league, especially on a Fulham team. So I think he can rejuvenate, his career if he signs with us. And, if he can bring back that senior career of when he was with, either Villarreal with the 12 goals, I'll be fine with that.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'd be way more than fine with that. Yeah, agreed. Kev, let's hear it from you, because I know you do not like this kid at all.
Yeah, I've watched quite a few games of him when he was in Sevilla and Villarreal, and I just don't really like his style of play. He reminds me a bit of Jamie Vardy. He likes to press high, but he's technically not brilliant. He relies mostly on his pace, which doesn't seem to me something that would suit Sporting or Kaiser's way of football. And I'd just much prefer for the 2 million salary that apparently he might get paid if the rumours are all true. I'd rather us just give Pedro Minge a chance, or Marquez, or even Lauren in the chat mentioning Tomane. I think that'd be a much better fit for Kaiser's style of playing for Sporting.
Fair enough, dude. And
Yeah.
Chris, last but not least, thoughts on Vieiro?
Yeah, I mean, it's tough, and he'd have some high expectations to live up to. He'd be one of the better paid players on the team, and he'd probably be our marquee signing of the summer. Shit, my dad just called me. Can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Yeah, Danny's on mute.
Okay, cool. All right, my dad just called me, kind of messed up. Yeah, so, yeah, I mean, he'd be like our market side. It kind of sucks that he, would be coming here with such high expectations. We'd all expect him to, bang in the goals and kind of replace Bas Dost most likely. It is also good to get the Gelson Martinez situation resolved and get 20 million, 15 million, whatever it is.
For sure.
I mean, obviously, Atletico Madrid isn't trying to throw in Griezmann in this deal. So, I mean, we just kind of got to accept the scraps, or, not necessarily the scraps, but the players that aren't good enough there. And take the money and just end the situation. So, yeah, I mean, it's not the greatest situation, but, I mean, it is a chance, as Johnny said, for him to kind of rejuvenate his career. He's been in the top league on lesser teams. So, I mean, I would think that, if you can't score some goals against Tondela and Stubble, I mean, he should just go back to Argentina then.
Yeah, good point. It's definitely make or break for him. No doubt. If it doesn't work out for Sporting, then his career is definitely
very badly.
Yeah. I think that's my only worry. My only worry on this deal is the potential. I mean, it's just rumors as of now, but the potential signing for 4 or 5 years. Because, like I said, if it doesn't work out, okay, fair. We're not paying. Allegedly, we're not paying anything for him. It's just included on the Gelson Martinez deal. But then we're not going to really sell him for much at that same point. You know what I mean? And his name still carries weight for now. If he could start banging in some goals, definitely in 2-3 years or a year or two, we can definitely make some profit off of him. But if he doesn't perform, then that's just fucking. His salary isn't cheap. I think it's something like 2 million or something. So
it's the same as Bas Dost.
Yeah. So it's a huge risk nonetheless. Especially if we're signing him on for 4 or 5 years, it's. I can potentially, if he's not, like I said, if he's not scoring, I can potentially see some problems on offloading him.
Yeah, he is 25 too. So.
Yeah. He exactly. He's just about to hit his prime. So
yeah, he's on the other side almost. So
yeah, good point. All right, let's move on to I think the best part of today's podcast and the best part of our weekends. Campeões Europeus, Sporting futsal team on Friday beat Inter Movistar 5-3 in the semis, finally getting over our demons against them. And then we beat Kairat, who is from Kazakhstan, where we were playing. We beat them 2-1 in the final. And today, if you guys want, you go to our Twitter page. We've retweeted some of the scenes at the Pavilion. João Matos getting his hair and beard cut. Nuno Diaz being the love of my life. pause. And yeah. Anyways, Chris, I'll throw it off to you first. Take me through the Inter game first, and then what you thought also of the final.
Yeah. So the Inter game, unlike past Inter games, I thought that we were on the front foot for most of the game, and I was actually, very happy with the performance. They could have scored us. They were a bit unlucky there. But I mean, I just felt like we definitely deserved it. It kind of got sketchy and weird at the end, where they scored with the sweeper keeper, and then we immediately scored again. And then they came back and scored another time. So they didn't go out quietly. And I respect them for that. But yeah, I mean, I definitely think we were the better team. And then transitioning into Sunday's game, that one for me, that was never in doubt for a second. We were totally dominant. It was unfortunate that we missed a couple sitters in the first half because I thought we could have been up more. It was tied at halftime, 0-0. But I mean, once we scored and then scored again, I was like, we deserve this. We're the better team.
Yeah.
This isn't happening. Obviously, it got sketchy a little bit just naturally when they scored at the end with 2 minutes left because, they're one goal away and they're playing with an extra man basically. But yeah, I mean, totally deserved. I thought Inter is probably better than Kairat. But I mean, nonetheless, that doesn't take anything away from the achievement. I mean, they beat Barcelona, so
Yeah, one of the better teams in futsal, to be fair. Kevin, I'll pass it off to you. I know you also watched the games. What were your thoughts on the semis and the final?
The semis only managed to catch the last part of the game, but Sporting was just brilliant in that game. Just never looked like we were gonna lose. When we went in front, it looked like we had it. And once we won that game, I knew that we weren't going to lose the final. Just Inter has been the team that we've needed to beat for the last couple of years, and we've always failed when we got to them. And you saw Kairat. They were at home in front of their own fans. All of the support was Kairat. And they couldn't make it count. They just didn't have the quality that Sporting had. And we need to give a shout out to Eric and Gita because, my God, brilliant performances from them two in particular in that final.
Yeah, dude. Gita especially. Safest hands I've ever seen.
The amount of saves in the last 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Yeah, even against Inter towards the end when we were defending our lead a bit, he pulled out some huge saves against them as well, if I remember correctly. Yeah, dude, it was emotional. I mean, I'm not gonna. I think out of all the modalidades, the one I follow the most is futsal. So it was nice to see, especially seeing as the last 2 years, we've witnessed them hit the final and come short. I mean, nonetheless, me personally, I was definitely proud of the guys going all the way to the finals. Don't get me wrong, really carrying our name and giving us some weight in the sport of futsal. We definitely wanted this final, and I think that was our main objective at season start, and to see it conquered, to see it in the museum. I can't remember now if it was Dieguinho or somebody else. No, it was Pedro Cari, I believe, saying, no, is it? I don't know who it was actually, saying que já não falta nada no museu. It was very nice to see them singing O Mundo Sabe Que at the very end was very beautiful. I think one of my favorite, or not one of, definitely my favorite moment of this season was seeing that. And yeah, Johnny, what are your thoughts? What about the futsal win?
It's an amazing victory. Another trophy for the cabinet. It's we're finally champions, and we're making ourselves known even more now internationally. And I just think it's overall great for the whole club.
Yeah, agreed, dude. Agreed.
And that trophy is really nice too. It looks
yeah,
amazing.
it's beautiful, right?
It's beautiful.
Yeah. Next time I'm in Portugal, for sure, you gotta take a picture of that. Like in the museum. Definitely gotta go.
Yeah, no question.
Yeah. Anyways, let's go to the Twitter question. See what Twitter has to say before doing a recap of our modalidades. Give me 1 sec. Let me pull it up. I'm very behind today, if you guys haven't noticed. So I apologize in advance. Or I apologize now. It's not really in advance. All right. We got a lot of questions today, to be fair. First question coming in from Nunu Gabriel. He asks, what are your thoughts on our first goal? Seems like a lot of people don't know the VAR rule. In my opinion, it was a foul outside of the box by Acuna, but since Vitória got the ball back, and lost it, we scored. No need to answer that. We sort of already went through it. I think Nunu has other questions we can answer as well. Next question comes in from Josie, who was in our chat earlier. He says, it's just really a comment. He says, Sporting, since they were eliminated in Europa League, 10 matches, 6 clean sheets. Great to see Sporting are keeping it clean in the back. Also 24 matches in 2019, 17 wins, 3 losses, 4 ties. Regardless how the season ends, Kaiser should stick around. Agreed. Josie. All right, here's the question from Nunu Gabriel. He asks, what did you think of Dumbia's performance on Saturday? Should he or should he not be starting over Goudelli? Seems like Goudelli has stepped up recently. Johnny, what are your thoughts on that?
Sorry, I didn't get that last part.
He just says it seems like Goudelli has stepped up recently. So in regards to Doumbia, do you think Doumbia should start over Goudelli or?
Yeah, not quite, man. I don't know. It's something about the guy just doesn't do it for me. I mean, I'm sure all of you can agree Doumbia would be the best option. I'm not too fond of players who played in China, to be honest with you. So I don't think Goudelli is one to keep for the future.
Yeah, agreed. I agree with you, dude. Next question comes in from Steph, who unfortunately couldn't be here with us today. He asks, do you think the VAR should stay or just cancel it? After so many bad decisions still being made, is it a problem with the Portuguese referees? Kev, I'll give that one to you. What do you think, dude?
I'd say VAR is definitely a good concept, definitely needed in the Portuguese league, but as we've seen multiple times this season, it's not used correctly and the system just needs work. I mean, the referees, going to use the game yesterday, Braga-Benfica, the handball given against Ricardo Freire, I believe it was, Braga's defender. I think it was Felix that hit the ball. He was like 2 meters away from the defender, and he was given as a handball. The rules clearly state that from that distance, you cannot move your hand. It's impossible to try and handball it. The ball is going too quickly. You're too close to the ball. The rules state that that's not given as a penalty, and it was given. For one thing we need is consistency in the decisions, the rules to be followed, to have the referees doing their job for us to then use VAR and it be effective in the Portuguese league.
Yeah. Well
said. Sorry, go ahead.
I think VAR should still be implemented in our league, but it does need to get, some fine tuning with it still. And I do believe it will definitely get better once the Premier League has VAR in next year. I think things will be a little better just for the fact that the biggest league in the world does have VAR now. So they're going to be cracking down, or let's say not cracking down, but making adjustments and really handpicking who is the VAR referee on a consistent basis, not just like a multiple, referees doing it, maybe just one specific guy doing it. But I'm sure that's going to be difficult with all the games going on, though.
Yeah. Good
at one
point, dude.
time.
I think even on top of that, what the Premier League is going to do, because the world is watching, it's hopefully going to lead by example. So, I mean,
Exactly.
hopefully they because they're taking this time off, they truly know how to do it right, or know how to really pay it, like really work VAR in its correct way. Because
Yeah.
if the Premier League proves that they can do it, leagues will across the world will be replicating that. Because I mean, we've seen it now. Every league in the world wants to be the Premier League. They lead by example. So hopefully, I agree with you, dude. Hopefully, with the Premier League getting it, things will improve in Portugal. Sadly,
Exactly.
it takes others to do it for us to improve. But yeah, well said, dude. Next question comes in from Matt Paiva at mpaiva7 on Twitter. He asks, how do you guys feel about the possible Vieto signing? Good fit for Kaiser's brand of football. Where does this put Bas Dost now? Chris, really more on the second part of that question, because we kind of discussed Vieto already. Is Vieto potentially a good fit for Kaiser's brand of football? And if he does well, what do you think happens to, or if he does come, what do you think happens to Bas Dost? Chris?
Good fit for Kaiser's brand. Can you hear me?
Yeah,
You're
sorry.
Okay. Yeah, I honestly think he's probably a better fit for Kaiser's brand than Bas Dost is, as much as that's unfortunate to hear. I think it's kind of true. I don't really think Bas Dost is a great fit. And in regards to where it puts Bas Dost, your guess is as good as mine, but I don't think it's going to be at Sporting next season.
Yeah, it is kind of looking that way. All right, next question comes in from Joel De Silva, a past guest on the podcast. He asks, should we keep Philippe as our striker or let Dost play again? Maybe even play a different lineup that allows both to play at the same time. What do you think, Johnny? Should we, one, let Dost play when he's healthy? And two, do you think maybe we should change the system to have both of them up top? What do you think?
Both of them up top. I don't know about that. But I think Philippe, I don't know, he just needs to keep doing what he's doing and maybe ease Bas Dost's ways back onto the pitch. I wouldn't start him straight out the gate any longer. We got to ride the wave, the Philippe wave, and just hopefully he just keeps banging in these goals.
Yeah, agreed, dude. Next question comes in from Sporting CP Youth at Sporting CPY on Twitter. He asks if you can bring one Sporting Academy player back to us, who would it be? Not being Nani or CR7. I'll actually ask all of you that. Kev, I'll start with you first, though. Not being Nani and CR7, which Academy player would you bring back?
I don't want to say his name because he left Sporting in a very bad way, but it has to be said. If we could bring back William Carvalho.
All right, bro, I'm kicking you out
the
right now. Sorry, dude. No, that's enough. Bye, Kev.
I'm sorry, but
I'm fucking around. Go ahead.
Personally,
I love William too. Go ahead.
As my favorite player, that's academy player, I'd love to see Ruben Semedo back. Just as he's one of my personal favorites, but William in this team would make us play a hell of a lot better. And it has to be said, he's not a saint. He's not a good person at all for what he did to Sporting. He's a rato, yes, but unfortunately, he knows how to play football.
Yeah, that's true. I think he's definitely the one that hurt us the most on leaving. In terms of like our quality of play, I think it really went down after William. Who?
I forgive him though.
You forgave him?
I forgive everyone that left, man. To be honest, yeah.
Fair enough.
I mean, grudges.
Yeah, I know. I'm with you there too. I don't really. I think I'm kind of over it at this point. Especially seeing as we got the money for William. Maybe it wasn't as much as we wanted, but I mean, we got something for him. I'm with you there. You can't deny he's a great player at the end of the day, right?
Yeah. After what happened, I mean, yeah, of course, it would have been great to keep them all, but once you get involved with something like that, it's kind of tough to really stick around, regardless.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah. What about Leão, though? Rafael Leão. It's a different story.
Yeah, he's different. I would definitely wish he would have stayed. I mean, I'm not going to hate the guy, though,
Yeah. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Kev, you mentioned one more Ratu again, and I swear to God. All right?
Hey, I hate him more than you do. I can guarantee you that.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Chris, before I pass off to Johnny as well, what academy player would you want to bring back? If you could bring one back. Chris?
I think that Adrian Silva as our center mid instead of Gudeli this season.
True. Good show.
I think I always loved him. I thought he was a wrecking ball. He was super active. Good defensive positioning. Decent enough quality going forward, and I think he definitely would have been an interesting pairing with the Bruno Fernandes that we have now. I know they overlapped a little bit, but we didn't get to see the full, the Bruno Fernandes of today. So I think that would have been a much better pairing in midfield. The Adrian Silva, Wendell, and Bruno Fernandes would have been great this season.
True, good point. And Johnny, any academy player you'd bring back, who would it be?
Dang, I had more than one, but
go for it. As many as you want, dude.
I mean, I'd have to go with Bruma.
Yeah.
I would have to go with Cedric Swage.
True.
And Carlos Mané. Carlos Mané, I thought was a god when I first seen him on the pitch.
Yeah.
But
sucks what happened to him too with the injuries and stuff,
Yeah.
I actually really liked Mané. I'm trying to be different and think of somebody else. I'll bring back, if it was up to me, I'll bring back Eric Dyer. Just
yeah.
cause,
yeah.
Get some English in there.
Yeah,
exactly, right? Yeah, João Mati. Oh, forgot about João Mati for a second. Jeez. Man, too many players to list, really. Too many players. All right, next question. Nuno Gabriel, what are your thoughts? What are your guys' thoughts about potentially having a B team again? Good, bad? Should we start where we belong since we were relegated or in the second division? We actually talked about that. Last question from Nuno was, after our UEFA Futsal Champions League victory, do you think we have what it takes to win our league, or is SLB too strong and we won't be able to beat them? That's a really good question. Chris, I'll pass it off to you. I think, is the regular season done in futsal? I think we're done, right? We're going into playoff mode now?
Yeah. The playoffs start this weekend.
Right. So what do you think? Do you think we can conquer our league?
So
or?
we're in a best of 3 series.
Yeah. Yeah, go for it, Chris.
Yeah. I mean, so basically, there's 18. Yeah, basically there's Quinta, there's Lombos. I believe we start Sunday. Just the first game. It's there. To finish in first place. So basically, what it's going to come down to, I think, is probably going to be us and Benfica again, like it did last season. I definitely think that we have what it takes to win the league again. We unfortunately are not going to do like the triple or the quadruple or anything like that because those for winning the the Champions League any day of the week. So I mean, I guess it's fine. But yeah, it's always exciting, the finals of futsal, and it'll likely be us in Benfica again, barring anything crazy or unforeseen. It's kind of like basketball in the sense that the better team usually advances because there's not a one-off game. You play a series. So even if a worser team squeaks out one, the better team usually ends up advancing over the course of the series. So yeah, I mean, it'll definitely be interesting, and yeah.
Yeah, and that brings us towards the end of Twitter questions.
Follow up.
Sorry, dude, you cut off, and then my bad, I interrupted. What were you saying?
No, it's all good. No, I was just saying it would be great to pair it at the domestic title again with the.
Damn. All right. Anyways, sorry, Chris, you keep cutting off, dude. Anyways, I knew what you were gonna say. It would be nice to grab the cup again, especially against Benfica. Anyways, on to our modalidade
with the European title, especially since part of our four-peat, and.
All right, on to the modalidade. Man, it happens. I know how to. I was on the end of these, because my internet sucks. So
yeah,
and I get Chris because Chris is roaming right now, so it makes sense, right? But anyway,
Chris is on the move.
Yeah, exactly. He's securing the bag. You got to respect the man. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Anyways, modalidades now. So to start off, our under 23s actually greatly disappointed me, losing 2-1 to Estoril this on Saturday.
Oh, that was a horrible game.
Yeah, that was bad.
Yeah, it was horrible. Luckily, I woke up at 10-ish, and the game was gonna start at 10. I seen 1-0. I was exhausted because I'd worked the night before, and I said, you know what? It's 1-0 this early. These guys won't let me down. I wake up towards the end of the game, and literally right away, all I see is everybody on Twitter saying, "Oh my god," and blah blah blah. I'm like, what are they talking about this? And then boom, the Sporting notification, 2-1 right at the last minute. I'm like, bro, are you fucking kidding me? These guys were so close to winning the league. I think with one game left, I think it's almost impossible now. But anyways, yeah, we lost 2-1 to Estoril. Estoril's under 23 team, of course. In female game, Sporting B beat Quintagense 10-5, and our senior team beat Vila Verdense 11-0. A lot has been said about a certain female team beating other teams, in the double digits, but we're at least beating professional teams here. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. You know who I'm talking about.
De manhã começa o dia.
Exactly. As mentioned, futsal Final Four, we beat Inter 5-3, and we beat Kairat 2-1, making us European champions. In the female game, we beat Nova Cement 6-5. In handball, the B team beat Serpa 25-21, and also beat Passos Manuel 31-23. In hockey patins, the juniors actually beat Benfica 5-3, and the senior team beat AJ Viana 10-4. A big win on for the hockey team. In volleyball, disappointing loss. Actually, the boys lost to Benfica 3-1, and Benfica were champions after that win. And in the females, but for the females, we actually beat São Mamede. I hope I pronounced that right. São Mamede 3-0, making us champions of the second division. Well done, girls. Basketball let me see. Is there anything else here? Rugby. Let's see. Rugby. The female A team beat. So we beat Tondela 31-7 in City 1. We beat João Talha Eriquense 71-0, and then we also beat again
Portuguese.
Yeah, and then we also beat again Tondela City 1, 47-0, and then in the final beating Benfica 7-5, making Sporting terceira etapa Camp Nacional. So we won the third national. What's a tapa again? A tapa
round.
campeonato. Yeah, I guess the third round final, I guess, of the national team. I'm not 100% sure on that. Sorry about the fucking that one up for the rugby fans out there. But Sporting females rugby team putting on a dominant performance. And let's see. I think that is it. After
basketball, man,
a bunch of atletismo. Also waiting for basketball. That's going to be big.
Can't wait.
Yeah, same.
You Americans and you basketball.
We needed that. We needed team.
Hey, I'm Canadian, dude. Have some respect, Kevin. I'm kidding.
Oh,
I'm kidding.
Ripping against you today.
I'm kidding. Hey, but of course, man. I mean, the Raptors are currently 1-0 up Chris's Sixers. Actually, Johnny, what's your basketball team, if I can ask?
To be honest, I actually don't really have one.
All right.
But I do.
What's basketball?
I do lean towards the Bulls, though, here and there. But
okay.
I'm waiting for this year's draft to go by.
Fair enough.
maybe the Knicks. I don't know.
True. Or you're from the New York area, correct?
Yeah, I'm from New York, Westchester area, New Rochelle to be exact.
Okay.
Shout out to everyone in Mount Vernon, Yonkers, Ossining.
Well said. Shout out to you, man, out there. Last modalidad really is just the esports. We lost to Riwav 2-1, and then we tied 0-0. So yeah, a decent, a pretty good weekend. Sorry, let me just read what Mishash here says. Where to find it? Okay. Anyways, yeah. So that's it with the modalidad. Moving on to the last part of the show, which is Belenenses SAD against Sporting on Sunday, 12:30 East Coast, 5:30 GMT time. Johnny, I'll start it off with you. What's your previews and your prediction, your score prediction of Belenenses Sporting over the weekend?
Well, Belenenses believe they're currently sitting in 7th.
I think so, yeah.
Right under Guimarães. I mean, they're
correct.
Yeah.
They're not an easy out, so I think we'll manage though, because this winning streak does need to continue. I want to see, the record being broken with it'll be a 10th straight, so that would tie Jesus, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, hopefully we can just keep this winning streak going. Hopefully Philippe just keeps scoring every game at least once. And my prediction, I think we'll house them. I think we'll keep another clean sheet. So I'm being optimistic here. I'm gonna go 3-0.
I like that. So actually, just to go back to the JJ thing, Chris is actually right. So JJ has 9 wins in a row. Palu, where was it? It was here. Right. Palu Bento has 10 wins in a row. Marino Perez with 11. And then back in 1946, 1947, our manager at the time, Robert Kelly, 16 straight wins. Which, I mean, crazy impressive, right? Yeah. Anyways, Kev, what's your preview and prediction on? Sorry, I messed up the first time. Belenenses SAD against Sporting.
The fake Belenenses.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's never an easy game with these lots. Steelers have put them playing good football, probably the best football outside of the top 3, top 4.
Mm-hmm.
But they are on bad form. They haven't won in the last 5. They recently came off a 3-0 loss to Aves.
That's right.
Another mid-table team. So, I know it's a tough one to call. We need to bear in mind Bruno Fernandes is on the edge of a suspension. So if he gets a yellow card in the next game, he'll miss the one with Aves, and then he'll be back for Porto. We just need to manage that, make sure he doesn't go out for the Porto game. Otherwise, that might be a bit of a problem. But I say if Sporting don't mess around with the lineup, I say we can get another 2-0 victory. Good performance. I don't think there should be any issues considering Billin's form and how we're playing.
Yeah. Agreed. And last but not least, Chris, preview and prediction.
Yeah, I mean, it's worth noting at this point, is it possible for us to snag second place the same way Benfica snagged second place from us last year? We need Porto to lose another game. A draw doesn't do it. But if we can second, as unlikely as that is, it's still within the cards. So basically, we have to keep rolling here.
Second's definitely still doable.
I think we do. Yeah, I think it's still doable. Basically, if Porto wins or if Porto draws one of their last two games, it's not enough. They need to lose one of their last two. So hopefully they're all demoralized now because they bottled the league. And they drop, more points, and then they completely go into the bonus game. I think we win 3-1. I hope they take in the scenes there because hopefully they'll be winning a trophy there in 2 weeks' time.
Well, Porto.
Good point.
Porto's playing Aves this week, so.
Yeah, and Aves are currently on fire. Agustinacio too really turned that team around.
And Balde.
Yeah. Up to 10th now. Jeez, I thought they were a bit lower. Up to 10th. That's crazy.
Kaiser does need to be aware of that kid, Balde.
Yeah. Also, rumors of him being sold for $5 million, which is a fucking joke. But that's just rumors. That's just rumor. No, that's his price tag. Sorry. The rumor was that's his price tag.
We better not.
Yeah, exactly. I agree. I'm also going to go with a 3-1 win for us. I don't see us keeping a clean sheet for much longer. I mean, I like Silas. I think everybody knows how I feel about Silas here. And I think Belenenses will at least get a goal against us. Just quickly to correct something I said in the past. I said it was almost impossible for us to be champions in the under 23 division. Here in the chat, Rui has helped me out. He says if both Aves and Rio Ave loses and we outscore Aves by 6 goals, we'll be champions. Hashtag easy. So, we're going to be champions of the under 23 division. No problem. Anyways, guys.
You never know.
Yeah, exactly. That is the end of our podcast. Johnny, thank you very much for joining us. It's a pleasure to have you on it. And hopefully you'll be on it soon again.
Thank you. Hope so. I also hope so to be on back again. I really appreciate it. And it was a pleasure. Man. It was a pleasure.
No, the pleasure's all ours. Thank you for the constant support, constant interaction. We appreciate you, my guy. And as always, thank you very much. Kevin, Chris, thank you also for being on. For those in the chat, Rui Chavs, Lauren, as always. Our own Kevin was on there. Shout out to you, Kevin. Zé on early, and Michael Ramon, aka the Lampião, but we don't judge him for that because we love him nonetheless. And also Joel da Silva, who's on earlier. Shout out to you guys. Everybody on our Twitters asking questions. Nuno Gabriel, Steph, who couldn't join us today. Shout out to you, Matt Paiva. Shout out. If there's anybody I'm forgetting, I apologize. Keep interacting with us on Twitter at Sporting160_EN. Also, we've sort of relaunched our Instagram account. Kevin's been killing it on our Instagram account. Go ahead and follow us there at Sporting160EN. And yeah, guys, that is all. Thank you very much for tuning in. And as always, Viva Sporting Clube Portugal.
Viva Sporting.